Hey, hello, how are you? I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for being here and hanging out with me for a little bit. My name is Autumn Ashley, and today I am going to be talking about my writing routine. In addition to my writing routine, I feel like it's important to address the other parts in my life, such as family and other personal things. Work is another really big one. I do have some other hobbies as well, and then just normal other things that go on in my life and how I weave in writing. And I feel like it's important to address all of that stuff because I don't just write all day. I don't just create content all day. I want to start firstly by talking about my work life. Editing Autumn popping in here just for a second. I want to clarify for this video, I originally had it as being a strict writing routine video where I wanted to talk about all of my writing and that entire process. As I was thinking about this and brainstorming how I wanted this video to go, I realized that I wanted to make the video more of what a typical week looks like in my life. And the reason I wanted to shift this just a little bit is because there's a lot of other things that happen in my life that does affect my writing. I felt like it was important to include everything else. So beware, I will be talking about what a typical week looks like in my life. So just be prepared for that. Okay, we can go back to the video. So I did mention this in, I think it was my last video, that I work full-time in a hospital. And full-time in the United States, not sure if this is how it is everywhere else, but it's 40 hours a week. I work 12 plus hours a day. If I'm scheduled to work 3 days a week, it is 12 plus hours. I can have nights where everything happens, right? There's so much stuff that happens. You're like, how can so much happen in 12 hours? Well, work in a hospital and you will discover that. But then you also have the other nights where it's like the phone doesn't even ring once. Depending on the workload and how exhausting a day is really going to impact my writing. And it's going to impact my writing on that same day, but also for the rest of the week. My typical work schedule, I work 3 days a week. Sometimes I'll pick up an extra shift, but for the most part, I just work 3 days a week. And I said 12 plus hours because I have to get 40 hours. So, just kind of work that out. I work full-time night shift in a hospital and it's a lot. It's not always the most fun work. There are situations that happen that are out of your control. Even when my shift ends, sometimes you still think about things and you think about what you could have done differently in a situation. I know they say, you're not supposed to bring your work home with you, but you're human. You do think about those things. I've been working in the medical field since 2018. 4 years later, I still sometimes take work home with me. While it's not good practice, I understand fully, I 110% get it. It's not always possible. It does hinder your creativity from time to time. That was a very long tangent, I apologize, but there's a point to that, and I hope you understood the point. I swear I had footage talking about the point that I was trying to make, but for the life of me, I cannot find where I put that clip. So the point that I was trying to make with this and why I think everything that I mentioned, it can really dictate how productive I am creatively and working on my stories. It can really dictate how much work I can get done. I think that's also just something with me because I'm that type of person where I will continue to think about situations even after they happen. Not all situations, but when certain things happen. So I did want to clarify what I said. Okay, so that's a full-time job. Even though I'm not married, I don't have children, I don't have animals. I mean, I have plant babies, but I just throw water at them and talk to them every day, and that's that. But I still have a family, I still have parents, I have siblings, I have friends. I wasn't hatched. No one just dropped an egg and automatically popped out. I have a partner, I have a family, and I have a social life too. Finding the balance with all of that, there is no magic recipe. You just have to find what works for you. I always try to put my family and my friends first as well. They're here for me, and I wouldn't be where I am without them. So they deserve that respect because they respect what I'm trying to do in my life and my writing. It is a very much a joint effort with everybody trying to pitch in. I also do a lot of writing. I do a lot of reading. It's been an extremely hot summer here in Georgia, so I haven't really been going out and going on my walks. I could go in the evenings like a good girl, but it is just so hot and it's just so gross outside. Unfortunately, I haven't been doing a lot of exercising lately, which is very depressing, like going out and doing walks and things like that. That's very depressing, and I also think that weighs on the mental health from not exercising. Something else that I really enjoy doing, I love going out for walks and enjoying nature. I absolutely love binging my favorite TV shows and things like that. With all of this stuff I just talked about, it's important to know that I have all of that in addition to finding time to write and to document my journey on the internet. I am now going to break down what a week in my life looks like. So talking about my schedule, in 7 days, which, you know, is a normal week, I will usually work 3 days of that. For this hypothetical schedule that I'm going to be talking about, let's just say I work Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, I have those days off. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I left out Sunday. For this schedule, I work night shift. So we'll say 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and I get off Thursday morning at 6 a.m. Give or take some, because I said 12 plus hours. Sometimes it's a little bit earlier, sometimes it's a little bit later. On the days that I work, I usually don't write. And the reason for that is, I had mentioned this earlier, that you never know what the work night is going to bring you. Sometimes my mental health just is not there. I need rest. I need to rejuvenate. I need to do some self-care. On those days that I am working, and if I don't sneak in one writing sprint, which to be totally honest, it doesn't happen very often. I did it a few months ago where at least one of the days that I worked, I would try to sneak in like one 20 to 25 minute sprint, but it's been several months since that's happened. So I feel like it's safe to say that on the days that I work, I don't write. While I feel like that's not necessarily a bad thing, and I don't think it's necessarily a good thing either, the reason I think it's a bad thing is because I go 3 straight days with absolutely no writing. Nothing, not thinking about my story because I'm working. Although sometimes I will just get random story ideas or like plot points in my mind, and then when that happens, I will quickly write them down. But typically I will not do any sort of writing or anything creative besides reading, but reading is not like what I mean by being creative. If I feel like I can do something other than doing a little bit of yoga or things like that, I will read. But other than that, it's just usually work straight for, I say for 40 hours, but really for 72 hours. I'm working, sleeping, eating, breathing, pretty much. That's usually what my schedule is for the first 3 days in a week. So for this hypothetical schedule, it's Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. On Thursday morning, because I've been working night shift, on Thursday morning, I will get off at 6 a.m. and then I will come home and I'll do that same routine, which would be taking a shower, doing a little bit of self-care, which is yoga, putting lavender on my face, on my pillow, depending on how rough that night was. Depending how tired I am, I will watch a movie, I will read a book. Sometimes I'll just sit in bed and scroll through TikTok or Instagram or watch a YouTube video, because that is my time to reset. And I feel like also it's a healthy way for me to turn my work brain off and to turn my creative mind on. And then on that day that I am off, so I won't have to go back to work that night, I will let my body rest for as long as it needs to. I will fall asleep when my body is like, girl, you need some Z's because we're about to fall out. I will sleep until my body wakes me up. So on this day, I will not set any timer. I will not set an alarm. I will not do any of that. I turn my fan on, 2 fans, and then I sleep. When my body wakes up naturally, which it will usually wake up thinking it's time to go to work. So if I go to work at 6 p.m., my body will usually wake up between like 4:30, 5 o'clock p.m. Then I'll get up and then I'll make a cup of coffee and I'll do the typical things that I will normally do in the morning on my days off, just at a different time, depending on how I feel. If I feel like I'm in a good creative mood, I will do a couple of writing sprints and see how I'm doing. I will edit a video, I will read a book or watch a movie. Really just depends on where my mental headspace is for that day. And I feel like it's really important. I give myself that one day for myself. Vibes really is just what we're going off of. I'm just gonna call it how it is. Oh, vibes. I'm going off of vibes that day. If I'm like ready to do some writing as soon as I get up, I will do it. If I want to do some writing, but I'm not really sure, I will watch a Brandon Sanderson writing lecture. And then if I'm feeling like I want to write, then I'll stop the video and I'll start writing. Or I will edit a video because that's creative content as well. After that, my partner will end up getting home a little bit later in the day, and then I will spend the rest of the evening with my partner. We'll either watch a movie or sometimes we will go out to dinner or make dinner, just depending on vibes and how we're feeling. The first day off from all of that work, I will usually go to bed around like 1 a.m. for that next day, which is my first full complete day. Being on a day shift mine with the rest of the world, I can hear the birds chirping in the morning and wake up with them. I will usually wake up at like 7 a.m. So technically it's my second day off, second day out of 4, but this day is like my first day off where I didn't stay up all night. I am rejuvenated and I am ready to slay it, man. When I wake up between 7 a.m. and 8:30 a.m., I will get my coffee in the morning. I will drink my glass of water. I will make breakfast because I feel like I need to treat myself. Usually I make eggs in the morning. That's not really a treat, but I love eggs. So I will always make myself like some type of egg thing, like an omelet or fried eggs, or freaking boil them. While I'm eating my eggs, I will sit down at my desk in the morning. Usually I will watch a Brandon Sanderson lecture just to get in the headspace because I'm like, dude, I'm feeling creative and I want to do writing. And usually I will do like 30-minute sprints-ish. And I've gotten into the habit now where I don't set my timer. Like in the past, I have been setting a timer for like 20, 25 minutes and then writing for that amount of time. But I've been slowly pulling away from that, where I'll look at the clock and be like, oh, okay, it's 8:30 in the morning or it's 9 a.m. So I'm gonna go ahead and write for about 30 minutes-ish. Around that 30-minute mark, I will get up, I will either refill my water, I will start a load of laundry. During my breaks for my sprints, I will get up, I'll move around, get water, hydrate, do some dishes, do laundry, and then I'll sit back down and then I'll try to do another 30-minute sprint. And I'll try to do this until about noon. And then from like noon to about 1:30, I will take that time to make lunch or go get lunch. Or if my folks are home from work that day and they made my favorite, which is tuna salad, I will go over and I will have lunch with them. If I'm over there, I'll stay usually past 1:30. I'll usually stay until like 3-ish, or I'll go visit my grandparents because they're all kind of in that same area. But if I decide that I'm not gonna go visit family and eat a little bit more of my weekend up, I will stay here. I will take a break for about an hour and a half. I will spend the afternoon, I will edit a video, still do some cleaning. So I keep the sprints relatively the same. Like I'll edit a video for maybe about an hour, spend an hour sitting down and doing some raw cuts. And then I will get up and then do laundry, do dishes, sweep, vacuum, do things like that in between the sprints. I like keeping the sprints because I feel like it keeps me really productive. And my sprints are more loose now. I don't set the timer on my phone. I'll just eyeball it, or I'll edit a video for a little while. Editing videos takes me forever, so I block off a lot of time for video editing. I will also spend time reading. A lot of the times I will spend 2 or 3 hours sitting and reading, and then by that time my partner will be here and either we'll make supper together or we'll go get something, and then I'll spend the rest of the evening with my partner. That was day 2 out of 4. So usually day 2 and 3 are pretty much the same. Everything that I just said, that usually is about the same for the next day. My afternoons are a little more busy because I will spend more time with my partner, so maybe not so much reading or editing a video. I might do that in the morning, but for the most part, those 2 days are relatively the same. For the 4th day, because the 4th day of being off before I have to flip my schedule, this day gets a little saucy. So for this day, what my schedule looks like, I still wake up between 7 and 8:30. I keep my schedule the same. I'll do a little bit of writing. Usually this day I don't do too much writing because my partner and I, is that a spider? I think that is a spider. Okay, we're gonna get him in a minute, but we're gonna finish this. On this day, I don't have too much of my mornings for writing. We'll usually spend this time with my partner. So we spend pretty much this whole day together. This is the day where we'll go grocery shopping or we'll do some heavy duty deep cleaning. That day is for all of that. Or sometimes we don't have anything and we're like, dude, we're just gonna sit here and watch Suits all day because why the hell not? Keep in mind, this is the day that I have to flip my schedule because I'm going to be working the next day to start my 3 full work days. For the 4th day, I have to stay up all night in addition to being up all day to wear myself out and to force my body to be like, hey, chick, remember, you gotta flip your schedule. So just keep that in mind because the night's coming. I will usually take a nap depending on what time we go grocery shopping, but between 7 p.m.-ish and midnight. I'm not asleep for that whole time, but I will take a 2-hour nap somewhere in that time frame. I will wake up around midnight or 1 a.m. and then do all my nighttime stuff. I actually did a video, I think it was last week's video, talking about what I do when I stay up all night to flip my schedule for work. I won't really talk about that, so you can go check out that video if you're interested in what I pretty much do, but it's just kind of all the same. So that's my writing routine, but also everything else in my life. And I wanted to talk about how my schedule works with working night shift, flipping my schedule, being awake during the day, and how it affects my writing. Even though it's my writing routine and I talked a lot about the other things in my life, I really wanted to film this video to share that with you guys. With all of that being said, there are still, other variables that happen and that pop up. Even though this wasn't just strictly about writing, it's how I make it work, and my camera battery is dying. So with that, I'm going to say thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a big thumbs up. And if you are not part of my writing journey and you want to follow it and be part of it, please be sure to hit that big red subscribe button and the little notification bell next to it so you don't miss another time that I upload. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.